There's absolutely one thing I will never, ever ask my students to do in the classes that I teach, and I'm going to tell you what that is right now. Hi, everybody. I'm Leigh from teachingacademia.com, and I'm all about giving you the tools you need to navigate academia to make your best impact. Today, I want to tell you a little bit, I want to share some stories with you around teaching, and the one thing that I will never, ever ask my students to do in any class, doesn't matter if it's undergraduate, master's, doctoral class, and it is this. I will never, ever ask my students to buy food for the class. All right, I've got really strong feelings about this, and I want to tell you why, okay? So this was something I never experienced until I began my PhD program. And in the second semester of my PhD program, I was in a class, there's probably about 20 of us, and the class ran, I think it started around 4 o'clock, ran to about 7 o'clock at night. So it runs through, very common dinner hour. And with 2 instructors, it was co-taught, and the instructors thought it would be great if students would bring food in for the whole class. And about 15 weeks in a semester, so most people were doing this by themselves. A couple people paired up and did it together. Now, I don't know about you, but for me and for a lot of graduate students, money is a big issue, okay? I was really, really poor. I'm trying to remember what I made as a doctoral student, but it was somewhere between $10,000 and $13,000 a year, okay? That was for the 9 months, all right? I had a very fixed, very tight budget. It took me 5 years to get my PhD. I barely bought new clothes, okay? I had to, obviously, but I didn't have the money, right, to spend on things that I did not need. Okay, which meant that I had a very tight grocery budget. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it was around $50 a week. Okay, I also had some money set aside for going out and doing fun things every week, and that again was about $50 a week. Okay, so I've got maybe $100 there that if I didn't use some of it, I could roll it into the next week, or if I didn't spend on my grocery budget, I could use it for going out and vice versa. But it's very limited, it's very fixed. How much do you think it costs to buy snacks for about 20 people, right? It's not cheap, right? You're gonna buy a veggie platter, that's not cheap. You're gonna buy cheese and crackers, cheese isn't cheap. Are you gonna buy pre-cut veggies? That's not cheap. You're gonna cut them yourself, that's cheaper, but do you really wanna take the time to do that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, I did it. I really thought about going to the instructors and to the professors and saying, this is a financial hardship for me and I can't be the only one here. But I was so embarrassed. So I didn't do it. I wish looking back that I had, but I didn't do it. And I bought whatever I bought when it was my turn. And I had a really difficult time, probably for a couple of weeks, to get that back on track. And I don't think this is something that occurred to the professors that taught the class. And it wasn't anything that anybody talked about, right, within the class of students. We didn't talk about it amongst ourselves. And it's something that I really resented because I just didn't feel like it should be my responsibility or anybody's responsibility to be buying food for everybody in the class, much less when we're in a financial situation that most of us were in, right? It seemed ridiculous. You're not relieving my burden any because I get to eat food that other people have brought in. The other way, it's just not helpful, okay? But students don't want to come to you and have to tell you that, all right? So now you've got people that have to put things on credit cards or, it's messing up their grocery bill or whatever, okay? It's messing up their budget, all right, in some way, just because somebody thought it was a good idea to feed the class. Now, as a professor, I just won't do it. I will tell my students if they personally want to bring in food for the whole class, they're more than welcome to. If somebody asks me about it, I'm like, you're more than welcome to, but I'm not going to do a sign-up sheet. I'm not going to be in charge of it. I'm not going to say that you have to do it. I'm not going to say that it's expected. If you want to bring in food for yourself and eat, because the late class, bring in food for yourself, eat, clean up after yourself, and move on, okay? But I don't want to put my students in positions where they feel uncomfortable, where they feel like they have to shell out money, because honestly, right, that's just not the position that we need to be putting students in as graduate students. So I would encourage you as instructors, just be mindful. All of our students have different financial needs. Some have more expendable cash than others. It's not our business. We don't need to know about it. And we don't need to be putting students in positions where they're being asked to purchase items for the class, like food, in ways that are just really inequitable and cause a great deal of stress and potential turmoil in their lives. So that's my thought on that. Go down to the comments. Tell me what you think. How do do you have food that shows up in your class? Do you have students buy it? If you do, why? And, what do you think, having heard my rationale and my own experiences, what do you think about it? Is it something you're going to keep doing? Head on down in the comments, share that with me, and follow me on over. I'll see you in the next video.